Hey everyone, great to have you back for another exciting tutorial session. In this video, I'll show you how to import external files like PDFs or text documents into your Excel workbook. Let's say you're working on an Excel file and someone shares a data file in PDF or a text format. Instead of copying and pasting, I'll walk you through a simple way to bring that file directly into your worksheet. Now let's get right into it. Here I have a blank Excel workbook. This sheet is currently empty and ready for data. I'll start by heading over to the Data tab and click on it. In the Get and Transform Data section, there are various options for importing from different file types and data sources. We can import from text or CSV, from the web, from a table or range, even from pictures. There's also the Get Data option, which I'll be using for this tutorial. Get Data shows all the various sources where data can be imported from into Excel. For this tutorial, I'll only be working with the From File options, which includes file from Excel workbook, text or CSV, XML, JSON, PDF, and folder. I'll move on to select the PDF option. This immediately brings up my folder where I select the PDF file I'll be using. I'll be selecting the company staff dataset, which is a PDF file. Then I'll click Import. This immediately brings up the Navigator pane, which is part of the Power Query editor. Because the PDF file is split into 3 pages, all pages were interpreted in tables individually. There's also the option to select the table that combines all pages together. I'll be selecting that. Next, I'll move to the bottom right. Here we have the Load option and the Transform Data option. The Load option loads the data directly to my blank spreadsheet, but the Transform Data option opens up the Power Query editor where I can edit the data before loading to my sheet. I'll go ahead to click on the Transform Data option. This brings us to the Power Query editor. Here, we can see that the spreadsheet headers has been moved to row 1. We can quickly fix this by going to the Transform section in the Home tab and select the option Use First Row as Headers. This immediately moves the data headers to the header row. Now that that's done, I'll check that my data set is fine. Then I'll proceed to load my data. I'll click on the Close and Load option by the extreme left. There are two options, which are the Close and Load or the Close and Load to option. The Close and Load option immediately closes the editor and load the data directly to the worksheet, while the Close and Load to option brings up a dialog box where you can select how you want to load your data. I'll go ahead and select the Close and Load to option. Since I want to view my data as a table, I'll leave the table selected. Also, I want it to be loaded into my current sheet I have opened. I'll select the existing worksheet option, then I'll click OK. This immediately loads the data into the sheet. It also brings up the Queries and Connection panel on the right. This shows all the queries and connection linked to the sheet. I'll go ahead and close that. I'll move to the Table Style section to clear the table style. You can see that all the data in the PDF format has been imported into the sheet. To reopen the Queries and Connection panel, move to the Data tab. In the Queries and Connection section, click on the Queries and Connection. This immediately opens the panel on the right. You can refresh the data by clicking on the refresh icon. When you right-click on it, it brings up a drop-down of different options. You can also delete the query. I'll show you in a bit, so stay with me. There are other options like refresh and load to, which I'll also come back to. I'll go ahead and close this for now. As soon as the data set is loaded, it automatically adds the Table Design tab and the Query tab, which is used for editing. In the Query tab, you can edit the data set, see the properties, delete, refresh, and carry out other edits on the data set. Now I'll go ahead and rename the sheet. I'll rename this to staff information. Next, I'll be importing a CSV text file. I'll repeat the same process by clicking on the Data tab, but this time I'll be using the From Text CSV option directly. As soon as I click on this, my folder pops up requesting me to select the file I want to import. I'll select the staff salary file and click Import. This brings up the Navigator pane showing a preview of the data set. For this, I'll be using the Load option. I'll click on the drop-down arrow. The load and the load to option shows. I'll select the load to option and this immediately brings up the import data dialog box. I'll leave the table selected, but this time I'll be selecting the new worksheet option. I'll click OK and this immediately loads the data into a new worksheet. On the Queries and Connection panel, you can see that the new dataset has been included. I'll close that and also clear the table style. Now my new text file has been imported into my worksheet. One thing to note here is that any changes made on this sheet will stay that way until the data is being refreshed. I'll show an example by changing the first ID to 1. I'll highlight the cell for easy identification. I'll also be changing the first salary band from mid to high. Notice that when I refresh the data, everything goes back to its original state. And this is because the imported data is connected to the original file. Whatever is on the original file will reflect on this sheet as long as the sheet is still linked to it. I'll show you what I mean. I'll open the original file separately and do some changes. Here I have the original file and I'll be changing the first row ID and salary band to 1 and high. I'll highlight this for easy identification. I'll use a different color to differentiate the staff salary original file from the imported sheet. Then I'll save this. I'll head over to my imported sheet. Here you can see that the ID and salary band is showing the old values. I'll go ahead and refresh this, and the data is updated to the changes done in the original file. I'll go back to the original file and change it back to the initial values. I'll save again and head back to my imported sheet and refresh. Now the data has been updated. Now, if I don't want the imported data to be connected to the original file, I'll go ahead and delete the connection by right-clicking on the staff salary dataset and select delete. Once this is deleted, any changes made on the original file can no longer affect the imported sheet. When I try to refresh, there's no option for the staff salary on the Queries and Connection tab because it has been deleted and there's no connection. I'll go ahead and undo this by using Ctrl+Z. This is a great way to add external data to your workbook without having to copy and paste manually. It is also great if you have an external data that is being updated frequently. This saves you from also updating your copy manually. All you have to do is refresh your imported data and your sheet is automatically updated. Thank you for staying to the end of this tutorial. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tutorial videos. See you in my next video.